I'm Corbitt with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Thursday, August the 28th, brought to you in part by Legacy Beef Cooperative. Legacy Beef Co-op will supply the cattle to Cattlemen's Heritage Beef Plant being constructed near Council Bluffs, Iowa. The pricing model will be based off of box beef cutout values. You can reserve your harvest spot right now, become a member of Legacy Beef Co-op. Get a hold of James Timmerman at legacybeefcoop.com. $250 or $400. Which one's going to get here first? The $250 on fats, direct negotiated in your 5 area where your market's established there. Actually, it has been bid. $250 has been bid by a regional in the Northern Plains, but I didn't hear that it was accepted. They were looking for more, and we're getting scary close to $4 for 800-pound steers. Now that's based, that's where our benchmark is for an 800-pound steer for a feeder steer, even though that's light for a feeder steer nowadays. But $385 was paid in Iowa and Nebraska sales on Wednesday. So we're getting awfully close to that. It's going up $3 to $4 every day. So which one actually gets struck first, I guess we're going to see. Likely the $250, but they're going to have to hurry up and get it done because this cash feeder market's going to catch them if they don't get that done. I mean, more new record highs. I'm getting wore out of saying higher. I'm getting wore out of describing the market as unbelievable. So I'm going to try to keep from doing that. But new record highs posted on Wednesday, and a lot of your sales. It doesn't have to be a big regional sale. It can be a local sale barn. I tell you what, the orders are just out there for them. They're go-get-em orders. They just want possession of the cattle. I'm going to give you lots of big quotes here later on in this report. I want to tell you a story that I heard on Wednesday, and it comes out of the Doolittle Rural Fire Protection District, and heavy on the rural there, guys. And I assume that's a volunteer fire station there, and one of their recent call-outs that they had was a fire that was on a tractor trailer rig carrying dressed beef. And it just so happened that they had a new firefighter, I believe it was a lady, and she was a vegan, so they thought that was kind of ironic that we had a vegan there putting the fire out to save that tractor trailer rig full of dressed beef. Well, evidently PETA, the Persons for Ethical Treatment of Animals, of course, they like to show commercials or videos about a lonely dog tied up, and then when they get that money, they fight against CAFOs and things that we do to feed the world with livestock and things like that. But besides that, but they at the Doolittle fire station, they got a letter from PETA. And they were congratulating the hire of the vegan, which I don't know why that would be a big deal. They would have nothing against that person. But they were going to commemorate that by sending a box of vegan steaks from Slovenia. And we're telling the people you can cook those steaks up for your crew, and it's going to be great and all this kind of stuff. Well, the Dent Phelps County Cattlemen's Association, part of Missouri Cattlemen's Association, they got wind about this, and then my friend Mike Deering, the executive vice president of Missouri Cattlemen's Association, he sent a letter to the Doolittle Fire Station right after, saying that he had heard that PETA had sent him these vegan steaks. And he said, you guys deserve better than that. Tell you what, we're going to bring one of our trailers over where they go and cook at events all over, and I've had them several times. They're delicious steaks. They go to big events all over Missouri. ag events and you know, celebrating beef and promoting it. That's what they do. And he said, we're going to do you one better. We're going to come cook the ribeye steaks for you at an event for your team. And so now it's all started. They're going to have a steak cook-off, the vegan steaks against the Missouri Cattlemen's ribeye steaks. And I don't believe they set a date for the event, but it is going to be coming up in the near future. I'm going to keep tabs on it and let you guys know what happened. I know where my money's going to be, and of course, most all of you too. I don't know if they're going to allow anybody outside the fire team to come to this event. I know that they have invited President Trump. So we'll see if we get any legs under that deal, but kind of a neat deal that happened, and you gotta like both sides, you know, really kind of promoting their way of life. But I think it'll be a neat event there, and my money's on those real ribeye steaks, and especially knowing in the part of the country in Doolittle, Missouri, that's south central Missouri. I tell you what, those guys like their real steaks. They like their cattle, and those guys are country down in that part of Missouri there. But thought that was a neat story to share with you guys. Talk about Gelbvieh influence. You can capitalize on crossbreeding with Gelbvieh and Balancer bulls, raise replacement females, and add fertility, increase longevity, and greater productivity. Wean more pounds of calf per cow exposed. For more information, go to gelbvieh.org. Also, I want to tell you about a big sale coming up on September the 3rd. That is next Wednesday after Labor Day, guys. It's coming from Tri-County Stockyards in Motley, Minnesota. So it's going to be a big sale. They had a heck of a sale here this past Wednesday, but this one's going to be a video sale that they're doing with help from DVAuction. On September the 3rd, they're going to have their live sale starting at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then they'll go to the video sale at noon in Motley, Minnesota there. They have got one heck of a consignment. The Schultz Ranch from just over the line in South Dakota is bringing 500 top Angus bred heifers there, guys. And those are going to weigh roughly 1,000 pounds each. They start calving on March the 1st for 30 days. It's going to be quite a deal. They would like to have you take delivery of those heifers November the 1st. And so that's going to draw a lot of attention there with top quality bred heifers there. And then on the video, they're also going to have 700 to 800 head of new crop calves, and they'll be all home raised and have their shots and all that kind of thing, guys. But check them out at Tri-County Stockyards, Motley, Minnesota. They're on DVAuction.com. Let's talk about your board on Wednesday. August live cattle futures up 75 cents at 243 1/4. October up $1.32 at 239.52. Your back months on live cattle up 7 cents to up 97 cents. So good day in the live cattle pits. August feeder cattle up 222. It's just every day. I mean, just how much higher is it going to be? 222 on Wednesday with August closing at 365.45. September contract up just 35 cents, and they're just about the same. It's September's at 365.40. Back months on feeder cattle up 42 cents to up 72 cents. Look at your grains. December corn new crop there down 3.5 cents a bushel at 406. November beans down 2 cents at 1047.5. Kansas City hard red winter wheat for December down 4 3/4 cents at 513 a bushel. Your fat cattle trade nosing around a little bit more. Actually, your packers are getting a little bit desperate acting, especially as they're buying for a holiday, a shortened holiday week with a major holiday on Monday, Labor Day there, and then we've been talking about them using that as a stumbling block or a clown barrel to get around and stave off your feedlot sellers there. But they're not showing it very well. They need cattle. They've stepped up their kill a little bit more. They need product. In Iowa, they had sold 200 head confirmed on Wednesday. That's 400 head for the week. The only price in Iowa quoted on fat cattle was $245 live. That's steady with the top of last week. But we did hear of those regional bids of $250 on the best top quality cattle there, and maybe even program cattle there. But we did not hear that traded. They were also bidding $392 dressed in the Northern Plains, and we didn't hear of any of that trade that went either. Nebraska did not have any confirmed sales. Kansas had 800 head of confirmed sales on Wednesday. They've had 1,600 for the week. Got a new price for the Southern Plains on Wednesday on those 800 head. It was $242. So just a $3 discount now to the Northern Plains. It was as much as $10 or $11 here just a few days ago. But that's $2 higher than last week's market in the Southern Plains and Kansas. Haven't seen any trade at all out of Texas, of course, so far this week. Sale barn market, Sioux Falls Regional Livestock in Worthing, South Dakota. They're a DV auction broadcaster. They had 1,250 head of slaughter cattle for their auction on Wednesday. Conventional cattle sell from $242 to $244.50. Now the non-implanted, just program cattle I say, but there's not many drug-free cattle on the market available. There are some non-implanted cattle, and they were quite a bit higher. Your conventional cattle had a little bit of weakness to them, not as active on those, but your non-implanted cattle in Worthing, South Dakota sell from $249 to $259 through the auction there with competitive bidding, guys. Glacial Lakes Livestock in Watertown, South Dakota, their fed cattle auction, they sold those $2 to $5 higher. Conventional fed cattle sell from $240 to $247. Non-implanted in Watertown sell from $245 to $253.50. They also had Holstein steers sell from $202 to $221. Holstein and beef cross steers sell from $235 to $241.50, and big fat fed cows from $175 to $185. Box beef cutout values slipped a little bit lower on Wednesday. Choice cuts were down $133 at $411.84. Selects down $305 at $387.71. Your slaughter so far this week up through Wednesday, they're stepping it up a little bit more. 344,000 estimated cattle slaughter. That's 10,000 more than last week at this point, and 15,000 less than this point the same week a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. Superior Steel sales, they're right there next door to Joplin Regional Stockyards on I-44 in Carthage, Missouri. Check out their line of superior standard livestock equipment. You're going to be impressed when you look, and you can see them online there if you get on, of all the panels, gates, crowding tubs, grain and hay feeders, loading chutes, cattle guards, all kinds of products that you can buy from them. And if you're not wanting to do that, you can order just the pipe and steel to build your own facilities, guys. So for more information and get a look at some of those superior standard equipment there, go to superiorsteelsales.com. Talk about your feeder cattle market, brought to you by Specialty Risk Insurance. Now they're just on the other side of the interstate from Joplin and Superior Steel Sales there in Carthage, Missouri, and they're working to protect your livelihood. But your real-time index after your Wednesday sales had concluded sitting at 364.67. That was up $3.30 from just the end of trading on Tuesday. It's a big gain. That's a 7-day moving average. Latest CME cash feeder cattle index sitting at 360.68. Your big sales on Wednesday, of course, OKC West, El Reno, Oklahoma, 6,700 head for their 2-day sale with calves on Tuesday and feeders on Wednesday. Now they're going to be closed on Monday, so they won't have a cow sale on Monday, but they will have their calf sale on Tuesday next week, and they will have feeders on Wednesday. So, and I think they're going to be open to accept cattle, calves, and yearlings on Monday if you need to bring them in then. But OKC West, their feeder steers sold $6 to $10 higher, with spots of $15 higher on the 8-weight feeder steers. Feeder heifers unevenly steady there. Steer calves on Tuesday steady to 3 higher. Heifer calves unevenly steady also. But their Wednesday feeder sale was your Superior Steel Sales stick out sale of the day. And you look at this automated market report through Cattle Market Central, and you see your best tested weights. Of course, they're all in the heavier weights because they sold the calves on Tuesday. But 750 head of 7-weight steers in El Reno averaged 750 pounds at 376.34 on the weighted average. 1,202 head of the 8-weight feeder steers averaged 861 at 350.69. There were 319 head of the 9-weight feeder steers at OKC West. They averaged 938 at 334.53. Check out some heifers. Couple of weight groups well tested there. 632 head of 6-weight heifers averaged 658 with a weighted average price of 372.41, and 946 head of the 7-weight heifers averaged 743 at 348.75. Another sale there in the Southern Plains. Winter Livestock in Dodge City, Kansas. They had a pretty big special there for them. 3,300 head for them on Wednesday in Dodge City. Terrible market reporting in the state of Kansas there. They muffled around with the feeder steers, but they were steady to $10 higher. I'm glad they narrowed that down. Feeder heifers were mostly steady. Stickouts, they did say 6-weight feeder heifers were $10 to $20 higher. It's just wide stabs at the market trend there, I guess. But talk about a stick-out quote from Dodge City on Wednesday. 67 steers weighed 766 at $390 per 100 there, guys. Big time quote. Give you some other quotes from all around. How about Parsons Livestock Auction in Parsons, Kansas? 65 steers weighed 801 at 377. Another big quote was Hub City Livestock in Aberdeen, South Dakota. 63 head, 956 pound steers. 956 guys brought 360. Wow. Bassett had a little sale. They only had steers and only big strings. I don't imagine it lasted 45 minutes, but 319 head in one swath in Bassett, Nebraska weighed 822 and brought 380. Wow. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Wednesday in your Macrocin No BS top quote for the day come out of Bloomfield Livestock in Bloomfield, Iowa. Now the Schooley family, they've had that market 56 years now. That was their anniversary special that they had on Wednesday, and man, did they have the 8-weight feeder steers in here. Look at these strings of 8-weight feeders, all of them selling on Wednesday there. They bring from 366 to 385, and that was on some 813 pound steers there. But your Macrocin No BS top quote for the day was 120 steers weighed 873 at 378.50. And that's your feeder flash for Thursday.